fattening myself into the biggest hog in the pen. The other piglets thought I had lost my marbles. But the truth is, the fatter you get, the quicker you'll pick. And even worse, you're sent to breed. That would be a fate worse than kicking the bucket. But they had no clue. I had awakened the devouring evolution system. Basically, just chowing down makes me stronger. At first, I was eating the cheap slop from the farm. It felt like gnawing on raw. But it was safe. No one would suspect a thing. I was the ultimate food machine. According to the system, a domestic pig can max out at 1,000 pounds. I thought I could finish the evolution smooth. But then 2 humans showed up and ruined everything. Bro, how did this hog get so bad? If it keeps eating, the scale is gonna break. What? Boss 1 already booked it. In a month, we haul it to the slaughterhouse. This pig's meat will make bank. We'll get a bonus cut and eat like kings. After hearing their chat, the slop in my mouth suddenly lost its flavor. Good thing I still had a mouth. I made a pact with myself. Double like crazy. And push past the evolution before they take me. Even if I can't take on humans, I can at least sprint away. For the next 2 weeks, I turned into a non-stop eating machine. Not just the feed, but the potatoes piled in the farm corner. Pumpkins. Even the breadcrumbs workers dropped. I didn't pass any of it up. But reality hit me like a wrecking ball. I checked the system panel. 520 pounds. Physics 6. Strength 12. Agility 3. Because I'd only been eating low energy grub, the stat boosts were pretty slow. Compared to other farm pigs, I was already a colossal beast. But going toe to toe with humans, I wasn't even close. At the same time, I noticed that as my strength and size grew, my eyesight and hearing sharpened a ton. A big guy with a few men came back to see me. And they carried thick ropes. Hey Gang, give me a hand. This pig is way too fat. Watch out. Don't let it sleep. Boss 1 needs it ASAP. The gang all rushed in. I fought like crazy. Running with my, kicking with my hook, but there were just too many of them. In the end, they dragged me out of the pen. When I saw that big truck with a metal cage, my heart sank halfway. A regular pickup might still give me a shot at escape. But this cage truck smashed all my hopes to bits. Though, when they loaded me, I noticed they didn't even lock the cage. Just jammed it shut with a rusty pin. Basically a lifeline for me. To avoid getting spotted by humans. I waited till the truck hit the highway. Then started pushing the pin with my tongue bit by bit. Hurry. Faster. Don't get caught. The pin was about to pop. Then I suddenly froze. Quickly scanned the area around. Had to find a forest or a mountain to avoid clashing with humans. And the more isolated the place, the better for me to grow. After waiting another 40+ minutes, I finally spotted my target. A stretch of endless woodland, stretching far as the eye could see. All giant towering trees. Felt super safe just looking at. If I can just rush into that forest. Even if 100 guys come, they won't find me. No more hesitant. I stuck out my tongue and popped the pin. Then kicked hard with my back legs. Used the truck's momentum. And jumped off. With a loud bang. I slammed into the highway guardrail. Right out the shape. Then rolled down the steep slope beside. Fell straight into a street. I wasn't too fragile though. Just scraped my front leg a bit. Bled a bit. Didn't dare waste time. Worried the truck crew might notice. I scrambled out of the street. And hobbled deep into the woods. I wanted to find a hidden spot to heal up. But after just a few steps, a dark purple plant caught my eye. With thick fleshy roots. And bright green leaves. Definitely not ordinary. Looked like a purple ginseng the village elder talked about. Supposed to heal wounds. My front leg was injured anyway. So I shut it down. Maybe it could help me recover back. And even boosted some stats. Just as I was about to chomp down on that ginseng, a nearly meter-long red-tailed millipede suddenly crawled out of a tree hole. Black and red striped body. Looked poisonous. Rustling as it moved. Even though I was over 500 pounds now. With thick skin and tough hide. If that thing bit me, it'd probably hurt like crazy. Might even get poisoned. I crept closer carefully. Catching it off guard. I lunged suddenly. And slammed down with my massive body. Smashing that millipede into a pulp. Just like a female hunter. Staring at the mess on the ground. I hesitated for a second. This thing looked so gross. But the system said, devouring animals boosts stats faster. And this millipede was huge. Maybe it'd add quite a bit of strength. Go for it, to get you stronger. No picky eating. I opened my mouth wide. And swallowed the whole millipede in one go. Nearly threw up from disgust. The next second, the system, feed.
Devouring and digesting. Unlock skill.
Gluttonous Devour. Gluttonous Devour can remotely absorb target food. Greatly boosting devouring efficiency. Devouring can absorb special properties from food. Like poison resistance.
Gain weak poison resistance. Physique +3. Strength +2.
System shift. Can I unlock other skills when I evolve? Each evolution unlocks one spell. After 5 evolutions, divine skills are unlocked. Hearing that, I quickly used the Devour skill on the boar and its body. Just saying, follow the crowd. The pig just floated up out of nowhere. And shot right into my mouth. A warm wave washed over my whole body. The wound on my front leg stopped hurting instantly. I even felt stronger than before. The system string updated again. Wait, 580 pounds. Constitution 第2. Strength 14. Agility. Unlock mild poison resistance. Not a bad start. This forest was like my own gold mine. But then I thought, such a massive virgin forest had to have loads of predators. With my current power level, handling a centipede or a wild chicken was fine. But if I ran into a black bear or a Siberian tiger, the big bosses of the jungle, I'd probably be a free meal. Steady. Hold it together. Leveling up was the way to go. No way I was messing this up. Before long, I found a hidden cave. Sniffed around with my nose. No scent of other animals. Probably because it was close to the highway. Animals stayed clear. I crept into the cave feeling safe. Lay down and crashed for a nap. At the same time, far out at sea, big fog rolled in. The third fleet group, a dozen warships were hauling at. All retreat, all retreat. Full withdrawal. Inside the command center,
Someone yelled in shock. What the hell is that thing? The heat it's giving off is insane. All our ship's heat combined. It's like a firefly next to the moon. I don't know what it is, but Anguo's losses are gonna be huge. Quick, send my orders. Mark this area as off limits.
over the next few days, I fell into a cycle of eat and sleep, spending all day either hunting for food or snoozing, totally clueless that a disaster was creeping in. A few days later, I looked at the system screen and felt a bit worried. Wait, 120 pounds. Constitution 8. Strength 28. 10. But the wild greens around here barely boost my stats anymore. Just a drop in the bucket. No choice. Had to push deeper into Black Wind Ridge. See if I could find better grub. After hiking about an hour, I hit a little stream. Spotted some small fish swimming around. I tried using my Devour skill on one. Next thing I know, the fish shot out of the water and zipped right into my mouth.
Devour stream fish. Strength +1. Devour stream fish. Constitution +1.
Holy cow. Eating fish boosts stats that fast. I just plopped down by the stream. Whenever a fish got close, I opened my mouth and sucked. Like munching on snacks. After downing dozens of fish, I could feel my body shifting. My pale skin turning a deep brown. Sharp fangs sprouting from both sides of my mouth. And my size growing to nearly 10 feet long. Looking totally fierce.
Host body weight breaks 800 pounds. Successfully evolved into black-brown wild boar form.
Current stats. Weight 820 pounds. Constitution 35. Strength 55. Agility 20. Mild poison resistance. After evolving into a boar, eating regular fish barely does anything. So I kept moving deeper into the forest. Didn't go far before hearing wolf howls, echoing back and forth. Sounded like a bunch of them. My gut told me to stay clear. But feeling my new strength, I crept toward the howling anyway. Got closer and saw, holy cow, a pack of grey wolves were ganging up on the mother bear and her cub. The mom was tough, but with her cub, she was all tied up. Couldn't go all out. Already got beaten a few times. Bleeding bad. I thought about just watching them fight. Let them weaken each other for me. But seeing the poor little cub, I finally stepped in. I didn't hesitate anymore. My massive body lunged forward with full force, moving at an insane speed. I slammed into 3 grey wolves in one go, knocking them silly and making them bleed from the mouth. They keeled over right there. The mama bear took her chance too, and whacked a nearby grey wolf with a single paw. The pack leader stared at my huge frame. His eyes full of caution, he let out a howl, and led the remaining wolves, sneaking back into the woods with their tails between their legs. The bear gave me a long look, like she was saying sorry, then hobbled into the forest with her cub. I eyed the dead wolves on the ground, and smirked a sly grin. These were free XP packages handed to me. I opened my mouth and used the devour ability, gulping down all the grey wolves. Suddenly a howl rang out not far ahead. My heart skipped a beat. I quickly hid behind a big tree to peek. The howl only sounded once, then went dead silent. Maybe something happened. Curiosity got the better of. I slowed my step and crept closer without a sound. My 900-pound body didn't make a single noise. That's the perk of agility upgrades. Through the thick woods, I found the fight was already over, but I could feel those guys were just ahead. I tucked myself into the bushes and slipped closer. In a clearing, a campfire was burning. 5 guys in camo were sitting around it, holding rifles, with a few black bags next to them. One bag had a spotted leopard sticking out. I tuned into their chat and finally got it. These were black crow poachers from across the border, here in Black Wind Ridge to hunt rare animals. That leopard was their catch just now. Lucky day. A leopard and a giant horned argyle. We'll cash in big time back home. Don't get cocky. They say Black Wind Ridge has some huge unknown creature. The radar signal came from around here. Stay sharp. What's the big deal? We've got rifles. Even an elephant could be taken down. Hearing this, I got instantly pissed. Poaching on my turf and acting all cocky. Plus those critters in the black bags. If I chowed down on them, I'd definitely pull off a second evolution. I decided to wipe them out tonight for the greater good. The poachers posted one guy on night watch. The other 4 crawled into their tent to catch some zeke. I crept up to the camp without a sound. When I was 50 yards from the lookout, I stopped hiding and bolted full speed. The guard barely had time to react, grabbing his rifle to take a shot. I was already on top of them. One headbutt sent the guy flat. He smacked hard into a tree and blacked out on the spot. The foes in the tent heard the ruckus and scrambled out, blaming away with their rifles. But my body was already at 45 stats, thick and tough. The bullets just tickled me like a feather. I charged in, using my tusks to launch a poacher into the air. Then I bashed with my saw. Another poacher got knocked out cold. The last 2 were scared out of their wits and tried to run away. No way I was letting them off the hook. I chased them down, 1 bite each. All taken care of. Once I was sure the coast was clear, I headed over to the black bags. The first bag had a leopard inside. The second one had an arda. The third bag actually held 2 unconscious leopard cubs. I kept searching for other gear. I really needed a phone or some communication device to figure out what's going on in the world. I rummaged through the poachers' backpacks. There was a ton of stuff. Shotguns, ammo, energy bars, and the poaching logbook. It recorded all their poaching trips over the years, plus a detailed map of Blackwind Ridge. It even marked the habitats of rare animals. I was stoked. With this terrain map in mind, I'd never worry about getting lost while leveling up in Blackwind Ridge. After digging some more, I found a smartphone in another backpack, and a power bank, and a small hand crank generator. It was like a dream come true. Heaven was on my side. Right as I was figuring out the phone, 2 leopard cubs slowly woke up. But when they saw me, they didn't run off. Instead, they arched their backs and stood in front of their parents' body, letting out low growls. Looking both pitiful and stubborn, I glanced at them, thinking to myself, these 2 little runts. Together they wouldn't even make a decent snack. Swallowing them wouldn't boost my stats much, so I might as well go for the giant horn sheep first. See if I can trigger an evolution. I didn't hesitate. Open my mouth wide aimed at the giant sheep, and activated the Devour skill, forcing the 400-kilo beast down my throat in one. Next second, the system notification chimed right on time. Devour the giant horned sheep. Weight, plus 25 kilos. Stamina, plus 5. Strength, plus 50. Current form, dark brown wild boar. Weight, 475 kilos. Stamina, 1. Strength, 120. Just 25 kilos away from evolve. My gaze unconsciously drifted to the 2 cubs. The little ones instantly started trembling. Their fur standing on end. Yet they still stood firm in front of their parents' body, refusing to back down an inch. I shifted my look to the leopard corpse behind me. That made the cubs shake even harder, their tiny bodies almost losing balance. But they still bravely held their ground, just as I slowly crept closer, ready to devour the leopard. One of the cubs suddenly gathered its courage and growled at me, while the other turned and bolted straight for the woods. Ran off. I didn't chase after that runaway cub. After all, it couldn't get far. What more could it do? But not even 2 minutes passed before that cub came running back with the dark brown sack in its mouth. It ran right up to me and gave a sharp jerk of its head. The sack dropped to the ground, spilling everything inside out. All century-old Lingji mushroom, wild ginseng and purple river card. All top-tier stuff for boosting stats. Looked like stash from some poachers. My eyes lit up, and I instantly activated Devour. The herbs on the ground were sucked right into my mouth. The stored energy inside exploded through my body. The system pinged like crazy. Devoured Century Lingji X Kusu. Constitution plus 30. Agility plus 15. Devoured Wild Ginseng X. Strength plus 40. Constitution plus 25. Devoured Purple River Car X top. Unlocked weak self-healing ability. Weight broke past 1,000 pounds. Triggered evolution. Then, I felt every bone in my body crack and pop. My fatigue visibly shifted before my eyes. Dark brown fur slowly turned into a dazzling red. My limbs, joints, and belly gradually covered with a layer of tough black scales. Even my 4 legs were etched with strange mystical patterns. Looking totally badass. Evolution complete. New species black armored boar. Current stats. Weight 1,400 pounds. Constitution 300. Strength 300. Agility 80. Weak poison resistance plus weak self-healing. Awakened skill black armor. After digesting the system info, I finally turned to look at the 2 cubs. From that little test earlier, I could tell these little guys weren't just smart. They were also super loyal. Perfect for becoming my sidekicks. I dropped the idea of devouring the cloud leopard. Instead, I dug a deep hole with my hooves and buried the cloud leopard's body. After burying it, I grabbed a backpack full of compressed biscuits with my mouth and tossed it in front of the cubs, signaling them to eat. I never thought those little guys would actually get it. They came over and pawed at the backpack, then started munching away. I led my 2 bodies, heading deeper into the Blackwind Ridge, checking the system panel as I walked, to see what the next evolution would bring. One glance, and I was totally stunned. The next evolution needed 20,000 pounds of body weight. That number was just insane. It was more than 10 times my current weight. I couldn't help but complain in my head. System, are you out of your mind? When would I ever hit that target at this rate? Complaints aside, progress had to keep going. I suddenly remembered the large animal coordinates from the poaching log. It marked plenty of tough beasts deep in Blackwind Ridge, perfect to use as my mobile XP packs. Over the next few days, me and my 2 sidekicks followed the coordinates on a hunting spree, devouring Tibetan antelopes, black bears, red deer, and other big animals. My size and stats were skyrocketing fast. In my spare time, I scrolled through news on the phone. Since I had power banks and a hand crank generator now, battery was never an issue. As I scrolled, one news story made me sit up straight instantly. Breaking news from our station. Mount and me and Mount Qingcheng started recruiting disciples simultaneously, requiring at least a bachelor's degree. The exceptional talents could bypass that restriction. This really caught my attention. When did China have such institutions? Now they even made the cultivation levels public. I couldn't help looking up at the sky. The shift I predicted seemed to be really coming, and now I was still a long way from the next evolution. I had to speed up growth, or when the shift fully arrived, I wouldn't even be able to protect myself. I quickly nudged the 2 cubs with my head, signaling them to step it up. Heading toward the southern area of Blackwind Ridge, the 3 of us roamed through the forest, sticking to the eat whatever you see policy, never wasting a single. In just 5 days, my weight shot up to 3,000 pounds. My body length reached 5 meters, height nearly 2 meters, and both strength and endurance double. Definitely a little tank on land. Then chomped down on a few more deer. We stopped by a clear pool. The 2 little ones were already going wild. Before I could call them, they jumped right into the pool to splash around, heating up water everywhere. I couldn't care less about them, and crashed onto the grass by the pool, dozing off under the sun. After days of non-stop hunting and munching, I was totally wiped out. But I never saw it coming. This nap nearly ended me for good. Suddenly, a sharp hiss jolted me awake. I shot up and spotted a massive black-scaled anaconda slithering out of the pool. Snake was over 40 feet long, as thick as a barrel, half its body still hidden underwater. Its cold, deadly stare locked on me. I charged, my huge frame rushing toward the pool. But the moment I hit the edge, the anaconda dodged aside with ease. I realized too late. The water and mud at the bank slowed me way down, while the anaconda moved like a fish in the water, totally unfazed. Before I could adjust, its thick tail slammed into me. With a loud thud, I went flying, crashing hard into the pool. Seeing me get smacked into the water, the two cubs panicked and rushed over to bite the snake's tail with no regard for danger. This move really cheeked off the anaconda. It slithered fast toward the shore, just as the anaconda's head. When it reached the bank, I leaped out of the water, activating the black steel armor instantly covering my whole body. Red-brown fur bursting into fiery flame. This was the hidden perk of the black scale. In crisis mode, it triggered flame boost, boosting my physical stats by over double. I clamped down on the anaconda's tail, using my might, and hurled it onto the grassy bank. With a loud thud, the anaconda was stunned and disoriented. I seized the chance to dash at, and aimed straight for its 7-inch weak spot. The anaconda thrashed desperately, wrapping around my body, but against me its strength was just pathetic. Half an hour later, the anaconda was completely still. I let go of its mouth, bit off a big chunk of its tail, and tossed it to the two cubs. Consider it their reward, their little bonus. While I was slowly enjoying the anaconda meat, a fierce presence suddenly hit me. I look up and see, in the distant woods, a white-striped lone wolf over 13 feet long was staring at my two bodies. His eyes were ice cold, clearly sizing them up as prey. I got furious instantly, daring to eye my brows like that. That's asking for death! I let out a low growl at the cubs, telling them to stay put. Then I unleashed my roar of laughter skill, shaking the trees around them. The white-striped wolf was stunned for a moment. In that gap, I charged over with my hooves flying. Thanks to the flame, boosted speed, I caught up fast, round dry into him. The white-striped wolf yelped in pain, turned around to bolt. Like I give him the chance, I sank my teeth into his neck, shook him hard, and snapped his neck in a few seconds. I tilted my head, signaling the cubs to drag the wolf's body back. The little ones got a hint right away, waddled over happily. Each grabbed a, struggling to haul it back. They looked absolutely adorable. After chowing down the anaconda and the white-striped wolf, I felt the energy inside me nearly overflow, almost bursting at the seams. Heat radiated from my whole body. Waves of power kept hitting my bones and muscles. My size was slowly growing too. I muttered in my mind. Times to check the stats. Current species. Dark shell boar. 胃体3000克 Strength 6. Constitution 丰富. Agility 150. Skills 6. Dark shell. Flame boost. Roar of laughter. White charge. Special skills. Slight bone resistance. Weak healing factor. Looking at the stats on the panel, I nodded with satisfaction. Though I'm still far from that 20,000 pounds evolution target, at least the progress is looking good. I let out a yawn and crashed out again for another nap. The two cubs snuggle up close to me and drift off to dreamland in no time. But while we're all sound asleep, fierce battle is going down on the endless coast far from Blackwind Ridge. Locals call that place the Forbidden Zone, with a towering dark wall standing over 10 meters high behind. The wall is packed with defense structures. Countless soldiers are gripping their weapons, fighting tooth and nail against sea monsters. On the command platform, a leader in a military coat stares at the churning ocean ahead. His eyes are deadly serious, staring at the raging sea up front. His gaze couldn't be more intense.
Report, sir! Zone 3 has spotted tons of aquatic monsters, including 20 ironback water beasts. 3 coastal defense guns are already wrecked. The line is about to crumble. Activate the zone gate defense immediately. Reroute the remaining shadow cannons. Focus all fire to take down the ironback water beasts.
Commander Lee says in a low tone. How's the situation this time? We lost 50 regular combatants. Master Chen Xun got badly hurt covering the retreat. He's in critical condition. Station Chief Zhang took down an ironback water beast all by himself. Got it. Keep the defense tight. Not a single monster gets through. After the messenger leaves, he mutters under his breath.
Things are getting worse. The world's changes are more obvious than ever. These monsters keep getting stronger. Looks like we can't hide this from the people much longer. Gotta speed up the recruitment of disciples.
Back in Huaxia, every defense base is locked in heavy firefight. Meanwhile, I'm still crashed out in the depths of Blackwind Ridge, totally clueless about the chaos outside. When I finally wake up, my body has grown a lot bigger. 7 meters long now, 3 meters tall. My black armor is way harder, and my fire teeth pack more punch. Even if I run into an ancient monster, I bet I could smack it senseless with one charge. Growing this fast, it's all thanks to hunting spree in this forest. In this area, I've taken down tons of massive creatures, and I've also bumped into some real alpha predators here. The trickiest was a red-furred monkey beast over 3 meters long. That dude was lightning fast, and it used vines to ambush me. It moved like crazy. Almost snatched my 2 little bros a few times. Besides that annoying red-furred monkey, I ran into plenty of other tough guys. A blue-striped hunting wolf 5 meters long. Its speed rivaled cheetahs, and its fangs were loaded with nasty venom. There was also a giant rock python nearly 20 meters long, even tougher than that black-scaled water snake I fought before. I pulled out all the stops, activated my black armor and went full blast. Just barely managed to swallow it whole. But that legendary Shadow Striped Panther called the Sacred Beast in the poaching law showed zero signs of appearing. I get this gut feeling that Shadow Striped Panther is way stronger than any jungle boss I faced. Might be the real challenge on my growth path. Forget it. Not gonna dwell on it now. Time for a feast tonight. Let's go deal with that rock-hunting giant bear first. I called out to my 2 little cubs and headed toward a peak in the southern area. That brown bear's den was in a cave on the mountain. In no time, a huge dark cave came into view. As we got near the entrance, the 2 little ones instinctively hid behind me. They crouched low and growled at the cave, clearly sensing the fierce vibe inside.
The next second,
Deep in the cave came rumbling sounds of massive rocks rolling, shaking the ground and making it tingle. Then a terrifying rock-hunting giant bear stood up and walked out. All of 7 meters tall, covered in dark brown thick hide, with bits of gravel stuck to it. That raw power outmatched any giant beast I've ever met. What the heck did this thing eat to get so huge? Even though I'm about the same size, it looked way more intimidating standing up. It let out a furious roar straight at me, clearly recognizing who I was. Actually, a while back, we had already clashed once. But back then, I didn't use NC skill. This time, it's like old enemies meeting again. Eyes blazing with hate. No need for more talk. I charged first. My massive frame came at it with flaming fangs, slamming hard into the giant bear. A thunderous roar echoes through the air. The 2 giants slam into each other with brute force. The sheer impact snaps nearby trees in half like twigs. My dark fangs rip deep into the bear's thick hide. But it's not backing down either. Its massive paw smashes down hard on my shoulder, denting it. Thanks. I stagger back from the blow. A dull ache throbs in my shoulder. Crash. Another brutal collision hits us. This time, I ride the momentum, forcing the giant bear stumbling backward until it crashes to the ground, kicking out a cloud of dust. But this rock claw giant bear is tough and thick-skinned, extremely resistant to damage. It quickly scrambles back to its feet, shaking its head, then charges at me again. I dodge to the side. Its paw slams into the ground, leaving a huge crater. Sure, my defense is way above the bear's, but its strength is insane. If I drag this out, it's just wasting time. I might attract other big beasts. No more holding back. Finish this fast. I make up my mind. My whole body gets covered in dark armor instantly. Flames burst out from my reddish-brown fur. Power inside me surges several times over in a flash. Even the air around starts to feel different. I start burning up. The blaze bear looks at me all covered in flames. Its murky eyes show a hint of panic. It instinctively tries to step back. But I don't give it a chance. My body turns into a fiery black streak, instantly charging right in front of me. With unstoppable force, I slam my head into its chest. A sharp sound of bone snapping rings out. The blaze bear lets out a painful screech. Its massive frame gets sent flying by my hip, crashing hard against the cave wall. The bear struggles a bit, then goes completely still, sliding slowly down the stone wall. Totally lifeless now. The 2 cubs jump up excited, bowing their heads over the bear's body. I nudge them with my head, signaling them not to eat yet. Follow me into the cave first. Maybe there's more surprises. Going deeper into the cave, I find tons of plants and flowers, some strange fruits I don't recognize, giving off a subtle sweet scent. Clearly, some good stuff. Walking further inside, the deeper I go, the stronger the fragrance gets. Reaching the deepest part, a huge stone room appears before me. Golden sticky liquid flows in the stone pool. It's actually honey syrup. Did this blaze bear really dig up the queen bee's nest from Blackwind Ridge? After searching the cave thoroughly, I leave my 2 greedy bodies in the stone room sipping spirit honey, and walk outside myself. Honestly, this place ain't bad. Could be my den, but I know clear. Now's not the time to slack off. The world's changes are getting more obvious. Stronger monsters are bound to show up late. I gotta hustle to farm and level up fast. Break through the 20,000-pound evolution bowl soup. First I slice off a thick bear paw, toss it to the 2 cubs in the cave. Then I activate the devouring skill and start absorbing the blaze bear's body. A massive wave of heat rushes into me instantly, burning through my veins. Feels like I'm a red-hot mobile furnace. My scales glow with a faint red light. I stay in the cave for 3 whole days, fully digest the blaze bear's energy and honey syrup. My size balloons to 9 meters long, 4 meters tall. My black armor gleaming like polished metal. Both my strength and physique shot up big time, even across the entire southern Blackwind Ridge. I was a rare top-tier powerhouse without a doubt. The beasts that used to mess with me, now they all take a detour when they see me. Time to keep sweeping through. I stretched out, shook my massive head, and started plotting in my head. First I take on that spirit clock beast. That guy hangs out in Black Dragon Pool down south all year, and it's even bigger than the Dark Water Serpent before. I couldn't handle it early. Now I'm ready to give it a go. Once I finish it off, I'll roll through every beast in the south one by one. No way I won't find that spirit mark panther. I was itching to level up fast, but I couldn't help myself. I sat down and pulled out my phone to scroll through news. But just 2 swipes in, the screen threw me into total shock. Breaking news flash. Sakura Nation's east coast breached by monsters. Countless unknown beasts flooding into cities, causing massive casualty. Right now tons of refugees are fleeing Sakura Nation, begging for aid from neighboring countries. Latest update. Sakura Nation sent a help request to Starlight. So far no response at all. The comment section under the news exploded. Holy cow. Woke up from a nap, and the little neighbor is about to vanish. What kind of monster is that powerful? Breaking the coastline like that. Any big shots know the inside scoop. Spill the tea. While everyone was buzzed, a netizen dropped a real photo. In it, a 9-meter giant beast was chomping down a tank in one bite. Wreckage scattered everywhere. The scene was brutal. The comments went dead silent for a few seconds, then erupted into even fiercer talk. Even Cloud Nation's officials couldn't hold it back, starting to slowly leak the info. Some well-connected people, Sunland, kept dropping news about monster attacks everywhere. Each one sent chills down everyone's spine. I read the comments, couldn't help swiping my own screen with my paw. and dropped to reply. Just a monster. I could swallow it in one go. Can't take one headbutt from me. Who would have thought that in just a few minutes? Tons of netizens would come at me, saying I was full of hot air without any evidence. My teacher is a disciple of Funkan Mountain, with super deep skills. Even he couldn't kill this thing with one slap. What's the big deal? Ignore him. Probably gone nuts from the shock. Still trying to get attention here. Hey, dude about. If you dare to spill your teacher's identity, aren't you scared he'll come back to teach you a lesson? Why would I be scared? My teacher doesn't use the internet. He has no clue who I am. Watching all these comments, I couldn't help but smile casually. The giant lizard monster from the news was just as strong as the blazing bear from before. And from the looks of it, even more powerful monsters keep showing up. I need to speed up my evolution, or else when scarier beasts flood into Blackwind Ridge, even as the overlord of the Southern Domain, I might not be able to protect myself. Over the next 3 days, I didn't slack off at all. I brought my 2 little buddies and started a full-on hunting spree. I ate up most of the beasts in the Southern Domain, whether it was the water spirit giant deer in the lake, the coastline hunter wolves on the shore, or the giant tail squirrels in the forest. Whenever I crossed paths with them, they all ended up as my next meal. During this time, rumors about the spirit awakening era spread like wildfire online. All kinds of cultivators and monster sightings flooded the feeds. I looked down at my 2 little sidekicks. They were now over 2 meters long, and their power had jumped up a lot. As for me now, my body length had exploded to 11 meters, almost 5 meters tall. My black armor was as hard as steel, and with my flame boost, my strength was absolutely insane. I was truly the top boss of the Southern Domain in Blackwind. Even that annoying red fur spirit monkey from before. Now when he sees me, he almost soils himself in fear. Too scared to even mess with me. I'd pretty much eaten all the beasts in the Southern Domain, so sticking around felt pointless. I shook my head and looked toward the coast. I heard there'd been a lot of water monsters showing up near the sea lately. And those giant lizards too. These guys are seriously tough. This is the perfect spot to check out the action and grab a bite while I'm at it. Gotta level up soon and break through. With that, I took my 2 little buddies and headed to the coast south of Blackwind Ridge. The shoreline of the southern forest twists and turns. On the waters where it meets the open sea, a man-made island stands tall. The naval base on the island is the most unique of China's 24 coastal defense bases. Since the behemoths in the southern forest have always lurked inland, few sea monsters dare to come ashore rashly. This base has always had the lowest casualty rate. The island is packed with new-phase RA radars and shore defense guns. Soldiers are on semi-alert most of the time. Inside the command tower, General Kifei clad in deep-sea camo gear stares intently at the radar screen. His brows furrowed tight. On the screen, a glaring infrared heat signature is slowly moving. Its peak heat reading is way above everything around it. Its peak heat reading is way above everything around it. That thing just moved. Kifei's voice is low and heavy as he points at the screen. This land behemoth's power reaction is 3 times stronger than the fiercest tentacle iguana in the sea. The quartermaster specially told us to keep a close watch on it. His aide, Commander Zhao Lei, steps forward, says urgently, General, should we adjust the shore defense cannon and lock onto this monster? If it gets near the base, the consequences could be a disaster. Kifei slowly shakes his head, his eyes still fixed on the radar. No need. Land behemoths and sea monsters have different temperaments. They have their own territory sense. If we don't provoke them first, they won't just cross the line. Our core mission here: 1. Track this unknown behemoth's movements, and 2. Guard against the mass landing of sea monsters. The sea's been acting up more and more lately. Just half an hour ago, patrol found traces of 3 tentacle iguanas in the coastal reef area. Judging by their path, it looks like they're scouting landing spots, going by past patterns. This usually signals a big mass appearance coming. Quick face darkens, and he immediately gives orders. All units on level 3 alert. Check shore defense ammo and gear. Tell the patrol to expand the search area. If any iguana clusters are spotted, report right away. Right when the whole base was on high alert, I was casually strolling through the coastal jungle, hearing some constant rustling. The air was thick with that familiar stinky scent. It's the smell of antenna lizards. Closer than I expected. Could even hear their scuttling on the rocks. Looks like free XP delivered to my doorstep. I grinned inside. My earlier guest said the sky would crack open in 10 days, and this lizard gang by the beach was perfect fuel for my next evolution. 2 days later, I bumped into 3 antenna lizards in a cove. The biggest one was a solid 10 meters long, but compared to my size when I was crouching, they were like 2 little pups. And those 3 huge lizards spotted me. They didn't rush to attack, instead edged backward slowly. They must have sensed how fierce I was. Wanna run away? I gave a scornful glance at the 2 big lizards, then rammed straight into them like a bulldozer. The lizards knew they couldn't escape, so they lunged at me all claws and teeth. But the moment we clashed, I sent them flying. My fangs even tore a huge gash in their tough skin. I didn't give them a second to breathe. One more savage charge, and took out the lizards for good. The base's command tower cameras caught it all clearly. Kifei stared at the screen. His pupils shrank, pure shock written all over his face. These 3 lizards were all over 9 meters long, especially that biggest one. At least top tier steel fist realm power. Even our best fighters might not take one down solo. But this wild boar took them out so easily. Zhao Lei quickly pulled up radar data and reported with a heavy tone. General, based on thermal imaging, this boar's internal energy reserve is terrible. We can't pin down its exact level. Conservative guess. At least grade 6 connection realm and up. Maybe even close to the upper 3 thresholds. Kifei took a deep breath. His fingertip trembling slightly. Upper 3 realms. That's on par with the major mountain sect leader. Cherry Blossom Valley got crushed by a monster at that level. Their cannons couldn't even hurt a middle 3 lizard. let alone an upper 3 existed. This wild boar. Could this be on the same level as the lizard king from the deep sea? I had no clue about the commotion back at the base. Dragging 3 lizard corpses back to the cave. I couldn't wait to activate the glutton devouring technique. Warm energy rushed down my throat into my body. Every single limb felt a tingly rush. Size and stats were just as I estimated. With me getting stronger, I couldn't help glancing at my 2 buddies. From now on, I'll call you Leopard 1 and Leopard 2. The 2 leopards nodded like they kinda got. Then I couldn't hold back and snap. Leopard 1 did okay back there. He knew to attack on his own. But Leopard 2, you were way too scared. You actually hit in the back. If you do that again, there won't be any share for you. Leopard 2 hung his head low. Let out 2 low growls. Like he was apologizing. I shook my head and kept going. Stick with me and work hard. Once you guys grow to 5 meters long, lizards at this level, you'll be able to handle them yourself. System check stats. High black armor. Well, weight 12,500 pounds. Strength 1,280 points. DC 1,150 points. Skills glutton devourer. Black armor. Berserk rule. Mighty charge. Over the next few days, I took Leopard 1 and Leopard 2 to the coast every day to hunt touch lizard. Their teamwork got smoother and smoother. Leopard 1 handled distractions. Leopard 2 handled sneak attacks. Though they still couldn't take down high-tier lizards, they still helped take a lot of pressure off me. And the soldiers at Zhenhai base watched my power grow every day through the cameras. From hunting 4 a day to later hunting 6 a day, and even easily taking down mid-tier 3 lizards over 10 meters long. This day, General Kifi asked the communications soldier, how many did he hunt today? The soldier quickly reported, General, the boar king hunted 6 tentacle lizards today. 2 of them were over 10 meters long, reaching early mid-tier 3 strength. He took those 2 down. In under a minute, Kifi let out a soft sigh. Kifi let out a quiet sigh. His eyes were filled with deep emotion. What a terrifying beast. The military district has flagged him as a top priority and gave me specific orders. Avoid stirring him up at all costs. Better yet, try to build a connection. If he could guard our coastline, it'd take a huge load off our shoulders. Zhao spoke up beside him. General, I think we should reach out to him. He's nothing like the other monsters. He doesn't attack people. He actually hunts the lizard things that threaten us. And he's even tamed 2 wild beasts. You can tell. He's got his own mind. He's not just some mindless killing machine. Qifei shook his head. The timing's not right. That boar is way too powerful. We can't control him at all. If we rush in and piece him off, the fallout would be a nightmare. Let's wait till we get a handle on his habits. Then make our move. I was down on the coast, and I already spotted that military base in the distance. But I didn't sweat it. I dragged my prize back and returned to the cave. Every day after hunting lizards, I'd head back to the cave with my haul, eating my way to evolution 1. Scrolling through news on my phone, seeing how monster attacks were wrecking countries. I felt the pressure building inside me. 3 more days passed. The lizards on the coast were thinning out, and I was on the verge of evolving. The energy inside was about to burst out. Right then, a breaking news alert popped up on my phone. Urgent report, the 23rd coastal base was overrun by a swarm of green pepper island lizards. Master Liu of 9 Peaks sect fell in battle. Thousands of soldiers and civilians died fighting. The swarm is now heading toward nearby cities. Stared at the news. My heart sank. The crisis outside was worse than I thought. The energy about to explode suddenly ignited. Bao 1 and Bao 2 curled up next to me, greedily soaking in the spiritual energy. Their bodies had grown already. You can literally see things slowing down, and fur gets way shinier too. Land, and even the world is changing. Big. Deep in the endless ocean, there's this vast island. Spirit energy is swirling into a tornado. A few giant beasts are chilling on the island, roaring like crazy. They stand strong in the huge storm, and the red stone is slowly shifting. At the same time, crazy changes are happening everywhere on Earth. Spirit energy gathers at famous mountains in the land. Elevators are breaking through ranks, left and right. Deep in the sea, 1 meter giant island. Hui energy forms a sky-high tornado. Few huge creatures are in the storm's center, roaring to shake the heavens. The most noticeable is a giant lizard, nearly 60 meters long. It's glowing with a faint golden light, all wild and fierce. That's the lizard king who broke through so many countries' defense. This spirit storm lasted a whole 3 days and nights. Foreign comms around the world went totally down. Some weak countries got wiped out by the storm and monster invasion, and vanished from Earth for good. But me, I got nourished by the spirit storm, and broke through my limit. Went through evolution. Broke through my limit. Went through evolution. 3 days later, we're in a cave in the southern forest, where 2 leopards over 5 meters long are cuddling next to a huge 15-meter beast fast asleep. I slowly open my eye. Shake off the dust on me. Wave of powerful energy surges through my body. Right now, we're 6 meters tall. Black armor has shed into shiny golden armor. Under the sunlight, coming through cave cracks. Gloves with a faint golden light. My red fur and golden armor complement each other. No more of that chubby look from before. Instead, I got a sacred beast vibe. This is the power of spirit awakening. Can't help but sigh. My nose twitches a bit, and warm spirit energy gathers at my fingertips. My body feels packed with strength. I try out my new awakened skill. Spit out a puff of pale golden fire from my mouth. The fire lands on a nearby rock, and instantly melts the hard stone. That's some serious power.
System, show stats.
Of species golden, armor pig. Weight, 25,000 pounds. Strength, 2,500 points. Constitution, 2,400 points. Skill gluttonous devouring technique. The armor, glass, fire strike. Just as armor, evolved into golden, and got a powerful glass fire skin. His power level jumped not just one tier. Let's go. Time to test these new skills outside. 威卡毛翼，安保2，and led them toward the shoreline. As soon as we got close, heard heavy cannon fire and soldiers shout. The air was thick with smoke and a metallic scent. I picked up the pace and hid behind a big rock, peering toward the noise. There the hidden defense cannons at Zhenhai base were blasting away. Shells slammed into a group of tentacle lizards, but only left shallow wounds. There were over a dozen of those lizards. The lead one was 20 meters long, covered in cold black armor. Man, cannon fire hit it, but didn't even leave a scratch. Was the mid-third round. Heat lizard overlord. Inside the base, General Qi Fei had a green look, radiating 9 grade 5 spirit realm aura. After spiritual energy revived, he also managed to break through levels. His team had 5 more 8th grade iron skin realm fight, and 2 7th grade steel bone realm expert. Against this powerful lizard horde, he still felt outmatched. General, the lizard overlord is less than 50 meters from the base. The defense cannons are losing their effectiveness. Please, keep up. The base defense line will be breached. Report urgent. Qi Fei gritted his teeth
and said in a low voice, all units prepare for hand-to-hand combat. We hold the base at all costs. Even if we fight to the last man, the lizards must not break through.
He knew deep down that 20 meters, even a 6th grade sympathy realm expert. Well, beat it. Only sympathy realm expert at the base. Master Wu from Tibet, Master, was still the institution. Just as soldiers grabbed their weapons, ready to charge and fight the lizards to the death, a golden figure suddenly leaped from the mountains behind the base, holding circular golden wheel in hand. Circular golden wheel in hand. The wheel sliced through the air with a whistling sound, and struck straight at 15 meters lizard, snapping its neck off in an instant. Green blood gushed out. It was Master Gu. Master Ku came out of seclusion. The soldiers cheered excited. Well, instant sword. Ku wore a rough gray robe. His figure was thin. He exuded a powerful aura. The vibe of the 6th grade Jiaodan realm hit hard, forcing the nearby lizards back. Qi Fei hurried over and said excited, Master Ku, 黑帽子，毛毛子，毛子。Have you broken through? Ku nodded slightly, staring intently at the lizard leader ahead. I luckily broke through to the peak of 6th grade Jiaodan realm. But this lizard leader is almost at the 7th grade. I might not beat him. I can only try to buy some time. I hid behind a big rock. My eyes lit up. This was my first time seeing such a strong human. Master Ku's energy was thicker than any leader beast I'd encountered. Wanted to see how his fight with the lizard leader would go. Just as he said that, the lizard leader let out a wild roar. Its huge body charged at Master Ku. Its tail whipped with spiritual energy, striking fiercely. Master Ku dodged with a flash, easily avoiding, and flung his golden ring again, turning into a golden bird, slicing at the lizard leader's eyes. That was its weak spot. But the lizard leader was agile, and dodged to the side. The ring grazed its cheek. Only a shallow wound. Then, the lizard leader opened its mouth wide, spitting out a glob of dark green venom. The venom hit the ground. An instant burned a big hole. Master Ku quickly stepped back, avoiding the venom. His golden wound spun flat, forming a golden shield, between the lizard leader's follow-up attacks. They fought for over a dozen rounds. The Ku was slowly losing ground. He already had a few cuts on. His breathing was getting a bit rapid. The lizard leader seized the chance and slammed its tail into Master Ku's chest. Master Ku spat out blood. His body flung back dozens of meters, hitting the ground hard. Couldn't get back up. Master Ku, Saifi yelled out, charging over with a few soldiers, trying to save Master Ku. Right then, the base's defenses were totally shattered. The soldiers had that look of grim resolve, pulling out their hand grenades. Falchion, command, ready to go down with the lizards. Just at that critical moment, the sea next to the base started churning violently, boiling over with white foam. This terrifying vibe spreading from the water. The lizards froze, fear flashing in their eyes, backing away one by one. Even that cocky lizard commander looked shook. He felt a power way beyond his own. At that moment, his crew beside General Saifi woke up. He murmured, making the sea boil. If it's a beast underwater, then it's gotta be on Ku's level. His words barely faded, leaped out of the water with golden glow blazing. My huge frame landing on the shore, ground trembling under the impact. When I stood before the lizard commander, his 20-meter length, against my 15-meter height, actually looked kinda small. Golden armor, blasting radiant light, with fire smoldering in my mouth, heating up the whole air around. The once arrogant horned lizard were now slinking back. The lizard commander trembling in fear, turning to bolt into the sea. My eyes went cold, activating my dash skill, turning into a golden blur, was on him in an instant. A sharp crack rang out. His chest caved in from the heat. Green fluid spraying out. He let out a chilling scream, staggered a few steps, then crashed to the ground, totally lifeless. The other lizards were freaking out, scattering in all directions. Wait, I'd let them off easy. I spit out the glowing fire, the flames sweeping across in no time. The slow ones got caught, turned to ash instantly. Rest I sent flying with the chart, blinging my fangs. Right, they dropped like flies. The shoreline went dead quiet. The soldiers' heavy breathing was left. They stared at my massive frame, their eyes full of shock and awe. Nobody dared to make a move. Those few lizards just had him on the ropes. But I took them all out in a few minutes. Power was off the charts. Power was off the charts. General Shipai recognized me too. It was the boar king they had been watching for ages. I lifted my right foot, pointed at the lizard bodies on the ground, then pointed at the cave in the distance, signaling him to haul those bodies to my den. He got my drift instant. Humped look spread across his face. He quickly yelled at the soldier, "Yep," and packed all the lizard bodies. Sent him to the boar king's lair. Legion? Nope, slacking off. Then he bowed deep to me. His tone was respect.
Thanks, Boar King, for the save. This big favor won't be forgotten. From now on, if you need anything, Zhenhai Base will have your back. I shook my head.
Didn't bother with him. And going to the heading towards the cave. Those lizard bodies were top-tier nutrients to boost my power. Back at the cave, crashed for a solid nap. When I woke up, Qifei had already sent a dozen lizard bodies to the cave entrance. Piled up like a small hill. On top of that, he left a thick file back. Cooled out inside was all the beast info the military base had gathered. Plus the breakdown of human cultivation levels. That made me so. This core info was way more useful than the messy stuff online. Plus the breakdown of human cultivation level. That made me stoked. This core info was way more useful than the messy stuff online. And the file, and gave it a good look. Muttering to myself. These ranks go grunt. General. Low. And he. Grunt matches. Human lower 3 rank. General matches middle 3. Word matches upper 3. King is a legendary level. No records exist yet. The file also said before the world woke up. There were 5 large level beasts worldwide. The lizard king was the biggest, 60 meters long. Man, at the peak of the spirit law level, he could unleash a mighty breath attack. As powerful as a top 3 realm human fighter. Other 4 spirit lord monsters hid deep in the Kunlun mountain. With unknown power and look. And the horned lizards I hunted were mostly high level beast soldiers. Only the 20-meter lizard leader was at the peak beast general level. I doubled up all those horned lizards. Only to find they were just high level beast soldiers.
I, the mighty wild Boar King, should at least devour a few beast general monsters. You two eat up too.
As Bao Wan and Bao Fu grew big, they understood things better. The 2 brothers humbly roared and went to eat the giant lizard. And I kept chowing down the rest without holding back. Oh, well, they were beast general monsters. Each one I ate gave me 200 points of strength. System, check my stats.
Species, Golden Armor Boar. Weight 15 tons. Strength 3000 points. Constitution 2900 points. Skills, Gluttonous Devouring Art. Golden Armor, Glass, Flame Breath.
I noticed my length stopped growing at 15 meters. But that was enough. 15 meters, bulk. 6 meters tall, one with tough golden armor and strong skills. Even if I run into a large level monster, I can still hold my own. System. What are the requirements for the next evolution? Reach a weight of 100,000 pounds. Max out strength and physique at 10,000 points. Then we can trigger the next evolution. 100,000 pounds. 10,000 points in strength and physique. That caught me off guard. Looks like, for the next step, I gotta hunt down a large level monster. But those large level beasties are super rare. The Kunlun range is way too far.
And the depths of Xiwang used to see.
I can't find a decent target for now. I pulled out my phone. The signal was back on. All the Chinese platforms were blowing up. It was all about monsters attacking city. And human cultivators fighting back. One headline grabbed my attention. Breaking news from the station.
A 7-meter golden lion showed up at Lenhai City's market. Golden crown. Just got settled. Beast. General level and up. Fierce as heck. Already caused multiple casualties. Army and cultivators are heading over.
Linhai City is close to the southern wild forest. And it's beast general level monster. Perfect for some training. And I can gather the energy for evolution. Boss 1. Boss 2. It's time for us to hit the city. I called out to my 2 sidekicks. They've grown into solid lion bodies now. Over 5 meters long. And they're at the peak of beast soldier level. Perfect time for them to tag along and get some experience. We kept moving forward. The forest got thicker. And the monster vibe in the air grew stronger. I knew ahead in Linhai City there were more powerful monsters waiting. And my evolution journey would push on through this dangerous city trial. After all, I Zhu Batian aimed to be the top dog across the land. That 100,000 pound weight ain't no big deal for me. Finally, we stepped out of the last dense jungle. And the view opened up. The shattered Linhai City streets came into sight. Tall buildings in ruin. Roads blocked by abandoned cars and monster remains. A barrage of gunfire mixed with tank roars echoed from deep in the district. Shaking the ground slightly, I looked up into the distance and saw a golden lion tearing through a squad of 9 tanks. It was a full 7 meters long, its sharp claws gleaming with a cold light. Every time it leaps up, it slams the tank so hard the shell dents. The thick armor crumbles like paper. Another heavy strike comes. The barrel of another tank bends straight. The driver bails out and runs, just when the tank crew is about to break apart. 3 shadows leap from a nearby rooftop. Their cold weapons glowing with spirit energy. Heading straight for the giant lion. These 3 are support fighters from the Chinese Martial Association. 2 wear combat gear, wielding long blades and say, steady and calm. Both at the 6th rank of spirit connection. And 1 is a fair young woman in light gold gear. Nimble and quick, a bit weaker, but still at the peak of 7th rank firm battle. She stumbles on landing, wipes dust from her lips, says seriously to the two beside her brothers.
This golden lion is way stronger than the intel said. Its fur is tempered by spirit energy. Hard as diamond. A tough fight.
The staff wielder stops for a second, eyes locked on the giant lion's moves.
Says Lo, this is the Lion King that escaped Linhai City Zoo. Mutated into a beast commander after spirit awakening. Xintel says it has 5 beast spirit cubs left, probably hiding in nearby ruins. When we engage, you take the left side. Me and the junior attack the front. Be careful. Don't get caught by its power.
Hearing this, the other two nod together. Faces getting more serious. 6th rank spirit connection fighters have their bodies forged by nature's energy, using cold weapons to bring out peak performance, but still not fully confident against the beast commander. A beast commander's body is refined by spirit energy repeated. Its offense and defense way beyond humans of the same rank. One slip can mean total destruction. Before the words end, the blade wielder strikes first, leaps up, about 15 to 20 feet high. Long blade wrapped with blue spirit energy, turns into a silver flash slashing at the golden lion's neck. But the lion is quicker than expected. Jerks its head aside to dodge. Right paw swings with a sharp wind. Slaps straight the blade. A sharp clamp sounds. The blade bends slightly from the blow. The fighter stumbles back from the force. His chest felt tight. He nearly spat out blood. Seeing this, the other two joined forces right away. The pole wielder swung his staff, infused with spiritual energy. The staff glowed gold, striking right at Master Jing's head. The woman moved swiftly, circling behind Master Jing. Her long blade slashed diagonally, aiming straight for his neck joint. But Master Jing stayed hung. His tail whipped wide, forcing the pole wielder back. Red Master turned and struck, hitting the woman hard in the chest. She screamed in pain. Blood trickled from her lips.
She was sent flying,
bashing into a crumbling wall. Her long blade also slipped from her hand. 3 of them together still got wrecked. Shows how terrifying a beast general is. Meanwhile, hidden in the ruined shadow, not far off, I had already snuck into the city with Bao 1 and Bao 2. My 2 underlings were tearing into over a dozen 15-foot lions. These were Master Jing's beast soldier minions. They tried to ambush me, but Bao 1 and Bao 2 struck first. Now they were no longer the small beasts they once were. Coordinating with perfect synergy, Bao 1 held the front. Bao 2 circled for a back attack. In less than a few breaths, more than half of a dozen lions were slain. The few left trembled in fear, trying to flee, trying to run. Did you ask my permission? I snorted with a laugh, opened my mouth and breathed out a wisp of force. Trying to flee. Did you ask my permission? I snorted with a laugh, opened my mouth, breathed out a wisp of force. But golden flames instantly snared the 2 lions in front, burning them to ashes in an instant. The rest were quickly caught up by Bao 1 and Bao 2. A bite to the neck finished them. When the fight was over, my 2 underlings dragged the biggest lion, brought it to me. Growling low like they wanted a reward, I took the lion, chewed it a couple times, and thought to myself, keep your troops fed 1,000 days, and use them when you need them. These 2 brats weren't raised for nothing. Right now, the fight in the middle of the street was still going strong. Those 3 fighters were pretty much running on fumes, covered in wounds all over, breathing all messed up, and the golden lion only had a few shallow scratches on his fur. Still raging like a beast, pressing them hard step by step. I watched for a bit, and got bored. These guys had been tangled with the golden lion for ages. Couldn't even break through his defense. If they kept wasting time, they'd end up dead sooner or later. You 2 step back. Watch me. Let me show you what real power looks like. I nodded at Bao Yi and Bao. The 2 lackeys backed off grudgingly, standing there quietly. The golden lion sensed my vibe and stopped attacking instantly, his mane standing on end, eyes full of caution and fear. He could clearly feel this armored golden beast in front of him was way stronger than him. Facing the golden lion's full guard, I acted all casual, sauntering forward slowly, the concrete under my feet cracking slightly. Then suddenly, I burst into speed, my form turning into a golden blur, slamming straight into the golden lion. The golden lion didn't even have time to react. His massive body got launched into the air, flying at least 10 meters high, then crashing hard to the ground, spitting out a mouthful of golden blood. Struggled a few times, and couldn't get back up. This scene left everyone there completely stunned. The golden lion that even tank squads couldn't take down got one shot by this armored golden beast. The middle-aged Colonel Shen Guo from the tank squad frowned hard, drumming his fingers on the tank hatch absent-mindedly. After a moment, he opened the hatch without a word, and jumped down.
Can't go out. It's too dangerous for us.
The communication soldier beside him quickly tried to stop him, his voice full of urgency. But Shen Guo just waved his hand, walking toward me with determination in his eyes. This beast means no harm. He was helping me just now. On the other side, after I beat the golden lion, I didn't rush to consume the early beast general level energy. Won't help me much in breaking through to Lord level. Right now what I need most are clues about Lord level monsters. And the top brass of the China Federation definitely have the intel I need. Thinking that, I bared my fangs. A silver flash, and I tore off the golden lion's head bite. Then with a kick, that bloody lion head landed right at Shen Guo's feet. Shen Guo shuddered all over. He looked down at the lion head, then looked up at me. A flicker of awe and excitement flashed in his eyes. He instantly understood what I meant. This stone was my olive branch. Was it offered in exchange for intel? Then, a dozen soldiers stepped out of the tank. They saw the stone at their captain's feet. All stood dumbfounded. Then one by one they showed admiration. Shenguo snapped to attention on the spot, flowed deeply to me. The soldier behind him lined up neatly too. Bowing respectfully, I had taken out the golden lion, saved survivors from the whole block, and protected their tank squad. This debt of gratitude
they kept in their hearts.
I nodded slowly to them. As a reply, this scene totally ignited everyone's emotions on the spot. Those 3 injured warriors struggled to their feet, gazing at my figure, faces full of shock, murmuring under their breath.
This isn't a monster.
It's clearly a divine protector. Bao Yi, Bao Er stood by my side, chests puffed out high, faces full of pride. They could feel the powerful aura around me. Swore these humans who respected me. They no longer had their usual hostility. I pointed at the military map hanging on the tank behind Shenguo. Shenguo's eyes narrowed. An expression of disbelief appeared on his face. He knew this map showed the current China Federation military deployments, monster dense zones and survivor stronghold. It was absolute military secret, but seeing the certainty in my eyes, he didn't hesitate at all. Took down the map and handed it to me with both hands. I gently lifted the map with my thumbs. After confirming it was good, I picked up the golden lion's body, signaling Bao Yi. Bobby too followed right behind. Turning and heading out of the neighborhood, all the fighters and soldiers stood frozen in place. Their eyes locked on my figure, until I vanished at the end of the ruins. Only then did they slowly look away. All the warriors and soldiers stayed still, their gazes tracking my path, till I faded at the rubble's edge, before they finally turned back.
On the road,
I was hurrying along, while flipping through the map, mixing it with the file Qifei left behind. My heart grew heavier with each step. Now China faces a crisis like never before. Under the ocean, tens of millions of monsters are hidden. Not just the tentacle lizards anymore, but also giant deep sea turtle and massive ice-breathing squids. They're evolving like crazy, staring down China's coastline. On land, cities are swallowed by forests. Monsters run wild everywhere. Survivors can only huddle in strongholds, fighting to stay alive. I pulled out my phone and saw social media had lost its fast. Turning eerily quiet, people finally felt the brutal truth of spiritual awakening. No more blind optimism, just mutual encouragement and organizing to trade supplies, sticking together for warmth. One pinned post caught my eye.
urgent notice. Blue City survivor base is now active.
Military support is on the way. All survivors not evacuated, please head to the base for shelter. Currently, Blue City has spotted 5,300 beast rank mark and 50 beasts, general ones. Current firepower can't hold them back anymore. The base is at risk of being overrun.
I couldn't help but sigh inside. One city alone has over 5,000 beast rank monsters. For armed civilians, it's total disaster.
What's scarier?
As the spiritual energy gets denser, more and more beast generals. Even spirit lord monsters crawl out of deep forests and hidden sea domain. Human living space is shrinking fast. Without noticing, we crossed the Linghai City market. On the way we met a few beast rank monsters. I handled them myself, signaling Bobby 1 and Bobby 2 to take over. Just treat it like some practice for them. But in my head I already had a solid game plan. First I'll swing by the Blue City outpost to check things out. If I can find a lead on a spirit lord level monster, that's perfect. But if there's nothing, then I'm heading straight for the southern coast. That place is crawling with monsters. And word has it there's a deep sea spirit lord level that's been hanging around the coast lately. That's gonna be my best shot to hit the next evolution mark.